Well, we often hear, Pope John the 22nd, 1300s. I forget exactly his years, but he taught contrary to the teaching of the church, or at least our current teaching, that whenever someone dies, if one of the saints die, that they see God in the beatific vision. They experience God in heaven. Well, he taught contrary to that. He said, no, when the saints die, they don't immediately see God in the beatific vision. They're only going to see him in the beatific vision after the general resurrection, but they don't currently see him in the beatific vision. Well, that's not true. And later on, right after his pontificate, it was defined as a dogma. So people want to say, well, he taught heresy here, right? So if the Pope is teaching heresy, doesn't that undermine what I just said, where the Pope as a universal organ could not teach heresy? Not so fast. This is coming from the Catholic Encyclopedia. Let's actually read about the situation. In the last year of John's pontificate, there arose a dogmatic conflict about the beatific vision, which was brought on by himself and which his enemies made use to discredit him. Before his elevation to the Holy See, he had written a work on this question in which he stated that the souls of the blessed departed do not see God until after the last judgment. He wrote this prior to him being Pope. But after becoming Pope, he advanced the same teaching in his sermons. So as a Pope, he's preaching something that is going to be later, right after his pontificate, declared to be a dogma. Therefore, he's teaching heresy prior to its dogmatic definition. However, is something that is heretical prior to its dogmatic definition in some cases harmful to souls? It could be. In the case of the Immaculate Conception, I would say no, because even Aquinas rejected that. However, in the case of Jesus being consubstantial with the Father, I would say yes. So, but it goes on to say, in this, he met with strong opposition. Many theologians who adhered to the usual opinion that the blessed departed did see God before the resurrection of the body and the last judgment, even calling his view heretical. A great commotion was aroused in the University of Paris, where the general of the minorities and the Dominicans tried to disseminate the Pope's views. Pope John wrote to the King Philip IV on the matter. Notice, and he emphasized the fact that as long as the Holy See had not given a decision, the theologians enjoyed perfect freedom in the matter. Notice that. He's already saying these theologians are able to disagree with me because the Holy See has not offered a judgment on this yet. Now, that's interesting. Okay. I'll more on that, but pay attention to that. In December 1333, the theologians at Paris, after a consultation on the question, decided in favor of the doctrine that the souls of the blessed departed saw God immediately after death or after their complete purification. At the same time, they pointed out that the Pope had given no decision on this question, but only advanced his personal opinion, and now petitioned the Pope to confirm their decision. John appointed a commission at Avignon to study the writings of the fathers and to discuss further the disputed questions. In a consistory held on the 3rd of January, 1334, the Pope explicitly declared that he had never meant to teach aught contrary to the Holy Scripture or the rule of faith, and in fact had not intended to give any decision whatever. Before his death, he withdrew his former opinion and declared his belief that souls departed from their bodies and joined in heaven the beatific vision. What does all that mean? He himself, both during the controversy and at the end of the controversy, admits he had never intended to teach this in his magisterium, either definitively or non-definitively. He never intended to teach this at all as Pope. Some may say, but he was preaching in his sermons. Yes. When you preach in your sermons, especially in this day and age, that is not teaching as the universal Christian or universal teacher to all Christians. That's teaching as a local bishop.
Yeah.
Right. And I already said that this charism of safety applies only to when he's acting as a universal organ.
Yep.
He's admitting, even during the controversy, prior to making the decision, he has been saying all along, he has not been acting as this universal organ. He's not even acting as an authentic teacher at all, or at least on a universal level. He's just simply teaching this as a private opinion in some of his sermons.
Mhm.
Well, this means that this charism of safety that I'm referring to that applies to a universal organ doesn't apply here because he wasn't functioning in that capacity.
Yeah.
So the case of John the 22nd doesn't work.
It-
Oh, wait, before you go, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting this channel. This is my primary means to provide for my family, and it also helps me to produce content like this video. If you would like to support me, become a patron by visiting patreon.com/reason and theology. You'll also get access to extra exclusive content when you become a patron. Lastly, hit that like button and the subscribe button, and be sure to leave a comment down below. God bless.